What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to teach you how you can turn any page, product, or article into a YouTube script. And then once we have that script, we're going to be transforming it into a video so you can add it to your website or your YouTube page. So let's dive in. Your first step is going to be accessing the Scriptsmith GPT that I've included in the description and also in the comments section. Now, if you don't have access to GPT-4, there is an alternative solution, and I've also provided that within the comments section. So be sure to check that out. Once you've opened Scriptsmith, you're going to see an option here for let's write a script for my URL. We're just going to be clicking on that, and then Scriptsmith is going to ask you for a URL, and it's going to tell you that it's going to crawl and analyze that page in order to pull out a couple of things: your audience, your brand voice, your unique selling proposition, your engagement objectives, and your own tone and style. That way it matches your website. In today's example, I'm going to be taking a look at this article, What is Pepperoni Made Of? So I'm just selecting the URL, copying it over to Scriptsmith, and providing it. When Scriptsmith is done analyzing your page, it's going to give you its best estimate for each one of these values. So before you continue, just make sure that you read it over and it aligns exactly with your vision of the website. So if I didn't agree with this tone and style, I would just annotate that, re-provide it back to Scriptsmith, and then continue with the processes. But this did a really great job of analyzing the example that I gave it, so we're going to continue. Now, your next step is choosing what type of video you want to create. You're not limited to the options here, but I feel like these are a great place to start. We have a how-to video, an educational video, a video testimonial, a product tour, a brand promotion, and an announcement video script. So select which one best represents what you are looking for, and then continue. Alternatively, if you don't know what type of video to make, you can ask the Scriptsmith to use its best judgment based off of the page that you've provided. For my example, based on the article that I selected, an educational video makes the most sense because it's saying, what is pepperoni made of? And now I'm going to explain that in video format. I told the Scriptsmith that I want to create an educational video script, and now it's providing me with a little more information about what an educational video is, and then the structure of the script that it's going to be writing. So we have our hook, we have our intro, we're going to move into the main content, and then we're going to conclude with a call to action. And then right below that, it's going to provide you with a little bit of a blurb to tell you that given the video script that you want to create, this is how it's going to proceed. So if you have any last minute requests, this is when you would make those. But this looks good, so I'm going to move on to the next option. Once you're done selecting the type of video you want to make, you're going to be selecting how long it is. Now again, these are just some examples that I've built into the system. However, if you're looking for something different, be sure to tell the Scriptsmith that. This is a small article, so I'm just going to be creating a small script. But again, if you want to create something larger, you would just select large or go off the board and create your own. I told the Scriptsmith that I just want a small script that's perfect for 1 to 3 minutes, and then it's asking me if I have any special requests. So if you have specific terminology in mind that you would like to use or industry jargon, you should annotate that here. Or if you happen to have a specific call to action in mind, now would be a great time to tell the Scriptsmith. So if you just want a generic, be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell for YouTube, it's probably going to lean towards that one. However, if you want the call to action to be something along the lines of, be sure to check out the product I've linked to in the description below, make sure you tell the Scriptsmith that ahead of time. Once the Scriptsmith finishes with your script, it's going to provide you basic timestamps on how long each section is going to take. So the first hook dialogue should take right around 10 seconds. And this is going to give you kind of an idea of how long your video is going to be once we move on to the next step. There are a few minor things that I'm going to adjust before we proceed, and that's going to be breaking up words like Tuscan Eats. So yes, that is the name of the website, but when we're using our AI to create the voiceover, one word like this may not go over well, so I'm just going to go in and break it into 2 words. So again, make sure that you identify these before you proceed. And once you're happy with your script, we're pretty much done within ChatGPT. And then we're going to move over to 11 Labs. If you're not familiar, 11 Labs is a really awesome project. What they do is they create text to speech. Or if you happen to go with one of the higher paid plans, it will synthesize your voice and transform it into your own voiceover. So you provide it with a script and it will create a voiceover using your own voice. Now, I'm going to be sticking with a free option, so it's not going to be using my voice, but they have plenty of really great voice options for you to work with within the free toolset. Another really cool thing that 11 Labs is doing is it allows you to take an English script and then translate it into a different language. So if I wanted to take our script and translate it into Spanish, I would just select that and it would create a voiceover within Spanish using their AI. It's a really, really awesome way to create voiceovers in just a click of a button. From all of the tools that I've been playing with, 11 Labs is by far the best option for generative voice. I'll include a link to this tool in the comments and also in the description below, and just be sure to follow along. So when you're ready to create the voiceover, we're just going to navigate to speech synthesis. And then from here, we're going to select text to speech. Within the settings, you can navigate to any of the voices available. If you want to use a novelty one, such as Santa Claus, that option is here. I'm selecting Josh just because I think that is going to work well for this video, but be sure to play around with them. There are a lot of fun ones. I was even considering using the English Italian version, but it was a little bit hard to hear, and I want to make sure that the barrier to entry for this video is pretty much nil. Within the voice settings, we have a slider here for stability. If you slide it to the left, you get more variables. However, if you go too far, the voice becomes unstable and it breaks up a little bit, and I don't like the way that it sounds. So I leave my slider to about 40%. The default is 50, but this is the option that I like. Be sure to test yours and make sure it sounds good to your ear. The following one is clarity and similarity enhancements. So if you have a lot of words that are similar in nature, sometimes the AI is going to struggle with enunciating those. So you can select for low clarity, or you can select the slider for high. I leave it at the default because I think it does a really great job, and that's 75%. The third option is style exaggeration. So if you want it to be a very exaggerated version of itself, this is the slider for you. You would just slide it to the right, but keep in mind that it's going to become a little unstable in the process. So I'm just going to leave it at 0. And then I'm also going to select speaker boost. Now these are new options and I haven't tested them before, but it sounds like it's going to be fun. So I'm selecting it. And then right below that, we have a model for you to choose from. Now, depending on which model you choose, you may get a notification saying that the voice you selected works best with a different model. So the voice I selected works best with multilingual V2, but I'm going to select V1 and show you. We get this error that appears, and it's still going to work, but it's not going to work as well. So I'm just going to go back to V2. You're going to add all of the dialogue from ChatGPT into 11 Labs, and then once you're happy with it, you're going to select Generate. For every 1,000 characters, it generally equates to about 1 minute of voiceover. So for 1,300, we're looking at around 1 minute and 30-ish seconds. Now, depending on your word choice, it may not necessarily be that, but it's kind of a rough rule of thumb. If it was 2,000 characters, you'd get right around a 2-minute voiceover. So before you click generate, just make sure that you're happy with that. I'm comfortable with our character count, so I'm going to select generate. Once it's done, you're going to see on the bottom of your screen an icon that indicates that this voice is ready, and you can play it within the web browser, or you can just simply download it. My voiceover is finished, and you can see that 1,300 characters equated to 1 minute and 22 seconds of voiceover. So that rough rule of thumb definitely works out. And then again, you can click play, and it's going to play your new voiceover within your web browser.
Ever wondered what makes pepperoni so irresistibly delicious? Let's uncover the flavorful secrets of this beloved pizza topping.
It sounds good to me. I like Josh's voice. It's clear, it enunciates everything well, and the script sounds good. So now I'm just going to download it. To edit our video, we're going to be using a tool called CapCut. Now, there's a free version and then there's a paid version. We're going to be using the free version, but the paid option is available to you. I think that everything you need to create and then export a solid video can be found within the free version. So that's what we're going to be using. But before we can edit our video, we need to actually have some kind of B-roll. Now, there are plenty of ways that you can do this. You can create images using Midjourney or Dolly and then animate them with Runway. You could use a tool like Flicky, which is going to take text and create the video for you. However, in my experience, it still needs a little bit of work. Or you could use something like Pexels, and that's going to create text to video as well, but it's going to be an animated video. Now, the reason I don't use Pexels for something that's a little longer form is because it outputs videos anywhere from right around 3 to 5 seconds. So for a minute-long video, we would need a lot of them. In our example, we're going to be using a free video platform called Pexels, and this is going to provide you with stock video. So if you're using something specifically for your own product and no one's going to have video of that, you may need to look for a different alternative. However, for an article like what is pepperoni made of, we're going to be able to easily identify pepperoni pizzas or pepperoni being sliced. And then we have our stock footage available. We can enter it into CapCut and edit our final video. I found a couple of cool videos that I want to include, so I'm going to download them and then hop back over to CapCut. From here, we're going to select Create Video, and this is going to open up a new window, and then you're going to select your aspect ratio. I'm going to be selecting 16:9 because we're going to upload this to YouTube, but by all means, select one of the others. Once you've uploaded your voiceover in MP3 format, it should pre-populate down here on the timeline. However, if it doesn't, you're just going to go over to the media section, click it, drag it, and enter it into there. You'll also notice that I have my videos over here to the left, so I'm going to start adding them to the timeline until we have enough to fulfill our video length. Just drag and drop the videos onto the timeline and trim where necessary to ensure that it matches the length of your voiceover MP3. Then I went to tuscaneats.com and I selected their logo and I dragged and dropped that onto the timeline because it was transparent background, and I just put it in the corner to ensure that it looks a little more professional. Then I created just a simple text animation that I'm going to add to the beginning of the video that's going to run for about the first 10 seconds to inform viewers of what they're watching. Once you're happy with your video, you're going to select Export, Download, and then select the resolution and also give it a name. Once you've selected Export, you're ready to upload it to Vimeo or YouTube, or just simply self-host it directly on your website. So guys, that's it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it and I hope that you learned something. We've covered everything from how to take a URL and transform it into a script, and then how to upload that script and turn it into a voiceover using 11 Labs, and then how to edit a video using just free stock video within CapCut. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to help you out. Now, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give it a thumbs up anyway. I would really appreciate your support. And until next time, this is Todd.